Good morning guys, and welcome back to my kitchen again. I showed you the menu plan earlier with the grocery haul. So the recipe I'm going to show you guys this week is just basically how we make spaghetti. So the way I make spaghetti is different every time, except for I make the sauce in the crock pot. I'll do the meat usually during this guy's nap time. And then when it's time to eat, we cook the pasta. So right now what I'm going to do is get the veggies and the sauce going in the crock pot. And I'm going to have this guy help me. You want to help me make dinner? Let's show him what we got. One of the first things I do is I look in the fridge and see what we have left that can go in it via produce, whatever. So this time we had a couple mushrooms left from my husband's soup, so I'm going to use that. We always have carrots and celery, so that's going in there. We have some Pam left over that I'm going to use to spray the crock pot to make it clean up a little easier. Usually I would just do olive oil. We have some olives left over. I'm going to take some onions from my husband's breakfast. We pre-chopped those so that's easy, but I'm going to steal some. And then I'm just going to use some pre-made sauce, some diced tomatoes with some spices, and then garlic. And then as I go along, I'll probably add some more spices. Hey, don't grind your teeth. And I'll show you what I put in, but that's what we're going to start with. All right. Okay. You going to help Mama? Celery first. And again, we save our scraps, so that's what I'm doing here. Gonna put those in our freezer for broth. All right, you wanna put that in? What we do is make it easy for you. Good job. What if? You got it? Good job. All right, hold on. Let's do that. There you go, Bubba. Now you don't have to reach behind you. Right here. Look. Put it in. There you go. Good job. Help you out a little bit. Disinfect your hand. No, put these in. Put more in. I'm gonna pull some out. I find the best way to do a carrot in a pasta sauce is to shred it, because then you're less likely to notice it. Okay. Ooh, make a mess. Get it everywhere. You gonna add more, Bubba? Are you breaking the olives? Ooh. Right, put it in. I'm gonna throw in the garlic. Again, I don't measure, just throw it in, however much looks good. I don't measure most things. Keep going. You want help? There you go, Bubba. Put it in. Can of diced tomatoes. This time I'm using with oregano, garlic, and basil. I may still end up adding those spices, but this way there's just a little extra. Okay, now you can't play in it anymore. There's wet stuff in there. Those. All done. All right. Let's move this out of the way. Hold on, not yet, not yet. We gotta put this stuff in. The other thing I like to do is I like to fill these up with water, just a little bit to try and get some more of the sauce out. Alright, you want to put the lid on? Put it on. Oh, good job. Keep going. Uh-oh. We gotta clean it. Whoopsies. Alright, let's try that again. You want to put it on? Oh, good job. Yay! All done, Bubba. So these are the spices I've decided to use. You could do some pepper, some salt, a little more basil. Well, you can't help with this part. Hold on one sec. Whoops. Savory. Gonna finish that off. Just throw that in there. Oregano. So really I'm just enhancing the tomato spices that are already in there. And some celery seeds. So I'm gonna shake those in and then it'll be good for sitting for the day. It is 9 o'clock. So I'm starting the crock pot at 9, and the whole reason that I do it this early is so that the spices have time to really incorporate into the tomatoes. Like I said, I don't measure. I just eyeball it, and then if I need to, at the end, I will have my husband do a taste test, and we'll adjust it from there. He's definitely better at figuring out what to add to it, so I have him do that. This takes forever. Like I said, all the savory. Throw all that in there. Celery seed is one of my husband and I's favorite spices, so we add it to most of our dishes. There's something about it we really like. I'm gonna give it all a good stir. Put that on low. I'll probably let that cook till about 2, 3 o'clock. So that way the sauce gets really good. Now the meat I will end up cooking and adding in during his nap. That'll be around noon. So that won't have as long of a time sitting in there, but it's already cooked, so it'll be fine. And then when he wakes up and it's time for dinner, we'll get the noodles going. And like last time, I have fresh bread made to go with it. Don't mind my dog pills, she's gonna take those today. But yeah, so that's gonna be dinner tonight. So Isaiah's down for his nap, so I'm gonna get the meat going. I am using a little over a pound. I think it's 1.33 pounds. So my plan is to try and make more sauce than necessary so that I can either freeze some or just have some for leftovers. So we'll see how that goes with this much. Crockpot is looking pretty good. I might add some chicken broth to thin it out to again make it stretch. And then I got these noodles in my last grocery haul. So we'll end up using those. And I have some spiraled zucchini that I'm gonna use. So we're gonna get the meat cooking. The only thing I'm going to add to this is salt, because I already did all the seasonings in the sauce. And we're just gonna get that nice and brown, and then I'm gonna throw it in the pot. The one thing I do want to mention is basically my method behind spaghetti. So what I do is I do the sauce, whether it's a pre-made sauce or just canned regular tomato sauce or homemade freezer sauce, but that's the base, is just your tomato sauce. I always add diced tomatoes. They may be flavored, maybe not. And then whatever produce I have in the fridge that needs to be used and that would go good with it. So like, my husband likes mushrooms and he also likes bell peppers, but he does not like them together, which I happen to have both, but this time I decided to use the mushrooms because they needed to be used up first, so I used those. Then the last thing that I do is usually a type of protein, whether it's ground beef, ground turkey, or just chicken. Sometimes I don't do any, but the majority of the time I do a protein. Today happens to be ground beef. The other thing that I've done in the past is my son was starting to show that he was a little bit picky with vegetables, so I was using my immersion blender to kind of mix it all up so that couldn't pick it out. But he's over that, so now I don't have to worry about that, but that is an extra step you can do. It is 12:30 and I am getting the meat added in, and then like I said, probably turn it off around 3. We'll get everything ready and have dinner 4:35. Not exactly 4:35, 4:32.5, somewhere in between there. So the meat is pretty well browned, so I'm gonna go ahead and add it into the pot. A step I forgot to show before I add this was I actually drained it. I drained out some of the fat, so that's all gone. The other thing that I would like to mention is you don't have to wait in between and add this. You can do it all in the very beginning. I just didn't have the time to dedicate to cooking the meat with my son awake, because there's the possibility of him needing me or trying to interrupt me and then me letting it burn or, you know, whatever. So I just chose to add it later. It's not going to make that big of a difference, but it just works well for the fact that I'm home with littles, or home with a little at this point. The second little isn't here yet. Now we wait. Got my noodles going, so dinner is almost ready. And here it is done. I'm gonna go ahead and plate it up.